What's going on, fellow Minecrafters? I'm Brooklyn Otter, and this is episode 2 in the TwitchSpawn tutorial video series. I was blown away by the positive feedback I received from the first video, and I'm glad that it has helped so many of you get this fantastic mod working for your stream. If you haven't set up TwitchSpawn yet, be sure to watch episode 1, which will be linked in the description below. I'll be putting out more videos in the future that go deeper into TwitchSpawn and what it is capable of, so be sure to subscribe to the channel to be notified when those go live. If you have any ideas for things you would like me to cover in future videos, comment them below. And if you are having problems getting things working properly with TwitchSpawn, you can join the TwitchSpawn server linked in the description for help. Today, we will learn how to update TwitchSpawn to the latest version to get access to cool new features, how to download Notepad++ to make writing TSL rule sets easier. We will talk about the anatomy of a TSL rule, and we'll create our very first TSL rule from scratch. Alright, so first thing that we're going to want to do is actually update our TwitchSpawn, make sure that we are on the most recent release. And so to do that, make sure you're in the mods folder on the Twitch desktop application. Go into Minecraft, and I have a bunch of these right now just because I've been trying a bunch of different things, but this one right here is the one that I did the tutorial with. So whichever one you're on, just click on it and that'll bring you here. If you've downloaded a whole bunch of mods, you'll see them all right here, but make sure you find TwitchSpawn. That's the one that we want to update, and this right here will actually do the update. So click on that, and with this update, you'll have access to things like /ts instead of having to do /TwitchSpawn for your commands, and access to channel points as well. So the next step is going to be setting up our environment. Like in my previous video, you can definitely use Notepad for TwitchSpawn stuff. TwitchSpawn rule set, and then go through and make your rules, and that'll work just fine. But I actually prefer using a different program, and that's called Notepad++. So if you do a little Google for Notepad++, you should see this right here, the downloads Notepad++. So if you go there and then just go to the latest release, don't get debated by this continue button if it's there. I always just click on the installer right here, and then that'll open it up. So you'll open up this right here, and that'll take you through the installation process of Notepad++, and I will show you what it looks like and why it is infinitely better than regular old Notepad for TwitchSpawn specifically. So since I already have it downloaded, I'm just going to open it up, and yours might look a little different, but that's because I changed the style of it. Originally it's going to look like this. It's going to be nice and bright white, which kind of hurts my eyes. I like the ruby blue. I think it's a cool color, and that makes it nice and pretty colors, I guess. And okay, so this next part is really important. This is why you want to use Notepad++, is because you can use a UDL, which is a user-defined language. And so in here, in the iGoodieGetBook.io, on the left-hand side, if you scroll down to the TwitchSpawn language right here, there's going to be this page called Notepad++ Syntax UDL. So when you click on that, it'll bring up this page right here, and this will give color to your rule set. So all of your comments will be green, keywords will be blue, numbers will be brown, and comparators orange, stuff like that. So it really helps you understand if you are typing in things correctly, because if it's not typed in correctly, then it won't show the right color. So all you have to do is click right here, download syntax UDL for TSL. So it's going to download right there, and then you can show in folder and it'll pop up. I have it in, oh gosh, you can tell how many attempts I've tried doing this just by how many things I've downloaded. So let's just get rid of these for now. You'll find it here either in downloads or wherever it automatically downloads to. You'll want to save this to a different location. So I'm going to copy that, and then I'm just going to save it in, let's say, documents. So I'm just going to paste it in documents right there, just so I know where it is. So now that you have it in a location that you know of, you can go right up here to language and user defined, define your language. Now, I already have TSL downloaded on mine, but I'm actually going to remove that so that we have a blank slate right here. So next step is we want to import our new language that we created. So I saved that in documents, and then it's going to be all the way at the bottom right here, TSL. So I'm going to double click that, import successful. And then when you click this right here, you'll drop down and now boom, that will show up. Now that we have Notepad++ and the UDL file correctly installed, we are going to open up our TSL file that we had touched on last video. So to do that, come back here to your mod pack, the one that I've called TwitchSpawn or whatever you've called it, and make sure it's the one that you've already updated if you've created multiple mod packs for whatever reason. And to get to the TSL file, you'll want to click on this cog right here and then open folder. So that'll pop up the Windows Explorer, and you'll want to go into config and then TwitchSpawn, and then you'll want to look for rules.default.tsl, or if you've renamed it to something else like rules.your username.tsl or whatever. Mine would be rules.brooklynotter.tsl. Double click on it, and this is it open in Notepad. But if you want it opened in Notepad++, like I just showed you, you're going to come in here and you'll want to right click rules.default.tsl and edit with Notepad++. And then boom, there you go. And if you hold control and then use the scroll, you can actually make it bigger and smaller. So I'm going to make that bigger. So now we can compare the two. I don't know about you, but I think Notepad++ makes it look a lot better with that UDL file. So once again, it's up to you, but I personally would choose the UDL file with Notepad++. And so now that we have our environment correctly set up, I'm going to walk you through the basics of TSL and how to use it. Before we actually write any rules, I wanted to touch on the anatomy of a rule in TSL. And what is a rule in TSL? Well, it's a combination of these three things: an action, an event, and a predicate. And so let's say I want to drop a diamond whenever someone hosts my channel. So drop diamond when someone hosts my channel. And I spelled diamond wrong because it's the holiday. I can't spell apparently. Let's make that black. So let's say this is a rule that you want to implement. How would you go about doing that? And let's actually say when someone hosts my channel with 3 or more viewers. I definitely can't spell. This can actually be broken up into these 3 distinct parts, and each rule is going to have either action event or action event and predicate. So the action in this case is whatever you want to happen in game. The event is whatever triggers whatever you want to trigger the action. And the predicate, this one's a little tough to explain, but it is like a modifier slash qualifier for the event. Now, with this example, drop diamonds when someone hosts my channel. Let's make this red, make this blue, and we'll make the last one green. So for this example, drop diamond when someone hosts my channel with 3 or more viewers. That'll be broken up into action, event, predicate. So whatever you want to happen in game. For this example, I want to drop a diamond. That's what I want to happen in the game. So we're going to change that to red because that's the action. So what is the event? What do we want to trigger this action? So this is while you're streaming. What needs to happen while you're streaming? In this case, it's when someone hosts my channel. So we'll make that blue because that's the event. And then lastly, with 3 or more viewers. This right here is the predicate. And not every rule is going to have a predicate, but this one does, because this is like a qualifier for the event. So if I have a host, if someone hosts me with 2 or less viewers, then this command will not trigger. Oh gosh, what did I just do? This command will not trigger because I have the predicate. Predicates are really useful for things like bits, because you can say, from 0 to 10 bits, I want this to happen. From 11 to 20 bits, I want this to happen. From 21 to 30 bits, and that's all possible because of predicates. So while not every rule is going to have a predicate, they're very, very useful. So I've got Minecraft up and running now. We're gonna jump into just make a new world. Tutorial 2. Oh, that's not a 2. Type. There we go. And then when I'm making a world, I always make sure to allow cheats, because that lets you do console commands. So survival's fine. I'm gonna go ahead and create this new world. And the first thing I'm gonna teach you how to, well, I'm gonna give you a quick tip, and then I'm going to teach you how to simulate commands, because those are really, really, really important to know how to do to help you be able to test your rule set. Okay, so we got our nice little world here. Oh man, village right there. So lucky. Actually, let's do a simulation right now. So we're gonna TwitchSpawn start. With the new update, you can just do TS start, and boom, TwitchSpawn starts. Hopefully, from my last video, you've learned how to configure it so that you have that beautiful purple sphere in the top left. So TwitchSpawn has started, and we want to simulate a command. So to do this, you can actually take a look at your rule set. So I'm gonna make sure that goes right there, and then have Minecraft right here so that we can look at them. Oh, it's a little too far over there. There we go. So as you can see right here, I have this donation rule right here. So in order to do a simulation, you actually use the event and the predicate. So what do I mean by that? Right here in this donation rule, we have drop 2 Minecraft sticks. So Minecraft stick 2. So that's drop 2 Minecraft sticks on donation with amount in range 0 to 20. Real quick, if you look at this rule, you can break it up into its action, event, and predicate. So like before, let's see, where'd that go? There we go. The action, what you want to happen in the game, is drop 2 Minecraft sticks. The event is when someone donates money, and then the predicate is when that amount is between $0 and $20. So that's how these TSL rules are set up. You have the action, you have the event, and then sometimes predicate. If this wasn't here, so if we just deleted that, then it would be whenever someone donated any amount of money. But because it's good to separate, well, I like to separate donations or Twitch bits into different amounts. Oh gosh, didn't want that. I accidentally pasted instead of undo. It's good to have these predicates for especially these kind of rules. So how do we simulate that? Like I said before, you actually use the event and the predicate. So we're going to do /TS and then simulate. Put a curly bracket, open curly bracket, event, donation, and then amount, let's say 5. And there you go. Just like in the rule set, the event is donation, and then you set amount equal to 5. Really, you can set it anywhere between 0 and 20, and that should trigger this rule. So can I hit enter? That's going to simulate. Woo, okay, we got 2 sticks. That means that we simulated it correctly. But, so if I do this again, you can hit / and then if I hit up, that goes back to the last command you did. If I do that again, look at how huge this GUI is. So even if I go full screen with this, like that, it's still really big. So currently the way to make this to make it smaller is you have to change the actual GUI. So if we go to the settings, options, video settings, and then GUI, we can change to like 2. Now when we simulate, it's going to be much smaller, and this text isn't going to take up the entire screen. Let me make that not full screen now so we can look at our rules. Okay, cool. So let's try simulating one more rule. So if we come over, didn't want that. So if we come over here, let's look for one more rule to simulate. Oh, how about this one? Actually, no, we did this one last video. So how about this right here? Raid rules. So the event is execute weather thunder. On Twitch raid is the action, or sorry, this is the action. My bad. Action is execute weather thunder. On Twitch raid is the event, and with raiders is greater than 100 is the predicate. So really a TwitchSpawn rule is that simple. You have those three parts. So now in order to simulate this rule, we'll go TS simulate with the event being Twitch raid. I literally just copied what's right here on Twitch raid, and then the predicate is raiders is, let's say 50, because it has to be less than 100. Okay, so we're gonna do that, and nothing happened. Oh, because it's greater than 100, not less than 100. I'm a dummy. So let's try 150 instead of 50, and woo, there you go. Now it is thundering, or lightning, raining. But because I don't really like that, we're gonna clear the weather. Weather clear. There we go. And now it goes away. Okay, so that's how you simulate events. You make sure that you look at the rule and you figure out what the event and the predicate are, and then you put them into the TwitchSpawn simulate command, just like that. Okay, so next step is let's talk about how to implement these rules. So I am going to delete all of this. I know, very bold of me. And let's think of a rule to simulate. So I want to drop 3 wooden swords when someone cheers 5 bits. Okay, so that right there. So another thing to note, this right here, I've created a comment. It's what happens when you put this £, or I guess hashtag for all you folks out there that aren't boomers like me. You put a £, right before your right at the start of the line, and that will make it so that you can read it, but it won't get executed by the code or by the compiler. So this right here just says this is something for the reader of the code to note, and that's not actually going to do anything in the code. All right, so how do we implement this? Well, let's break it up into the action, event, predicate like we've done before. So the action would be drop 3 wooden swords. The event is when someone cheers, and the predicate is 5 bits. So I'm actually going to write those down. Action, drop 3 wooden swords. The event is when someone cheers, and the predicate is 5 bits. Okay, so now you're thinking, well, this is great and all, but how do I actually figure out what I need to put down as the code? And that's when the Git book is really helpful. So I should really put this on a bookmark or something. TwitchSpawn. I always just search TwitchSpawn, and it's, oh look, hey, that's cool. And it's going to be right here is the iGoody Git book. So if we come right here, we can look up how to do this. So what was the first thing we wanted to do? We wanted to drop 3 wooden swords. That's an action, right? So let's go to TSL actions. And right here, Oh, look, the first one is drop. That's exactly what we want to do. But that's not all you can do. There's plenty of things. You can drop, you can summon things like zombies or creepers. You can execute actual in-game commands, which really blows the lid off of what you can do with this. Throw, which is really trolly, throwing stuff from a streamer's inventory. Clear, which destroys an item from the player's inventory. Shuffle, which moves things around. Change, which changes one item into another item. So you can tell, like, there's so much you can do. And then some meta actions, which we'll get to later. But like I said, the first thing we want to do is drop. So that's our action. How do we do that? You literally just type drop. That's how you set it up. That says, okay, our action is going to be drop something. And then what do we want to drop? Well, it's a wooden sword. So Minecraft wooden sword. So this right here, whenever you want to like summon something or drop something, you need to get the correct name for it. And you have to do that by searching. I just know that it's going to be wooden sword. So for instance, the in-game command right here would be give Brooklyn Otter wooden. See, so I know right here that it's going to be Minecraft wooden. Oh goodness, wooden sword. There we go. And right there, that gives me a wooden sword. So you just have to know what the items are. And you can do that a lot of times by just like trying to give yourself that item or trying to fill the area with that item. So wooden sword or an ender pearl. So that's how I usually figure out what the item is called, or you can look it up online. So drop wooden sword, and then we wanted to drop 3 of them. So we can just say 3. And so this is when, this is something you should note about the TSL file. Each new rule has to start with, let's move this slightly over a bit more. Each new rule has to start with no space, and then every line after that has to have a space, or else you'll get an indentation error, which I know a lot of you have seen. So that's why it happens. And I like to break up my action, event, and predicate into different lines, which is why I'm doing it this way. You could theoretically do it all on one line, but I think that's really hard to read. So drop wooden sword 3, and then the event is when someone cheers. So let's go back to the TSL the TSL Git book, and we're gonna look right here at events and predicates, because we know that that is an event. And so how do we do this? Well, an event is declared with on, and this kind of tells you the flow. So on donation. So in our case, it would be on Twitch bits. So let's see. Donation is literally like a Streamlabs or Stream Elements donation. You can do loyalty point redemptions now. Twitch channel point rewards, which we will definitely get to. That's an exciting one. Twitch chat message. There's a ton of different events. Twitch follow, Twitch subscription gift, Twitch subscription, Twitch host, Twitch raid. Oh, here we go. This is the one that we want. Twitch bits. So in order to make this work, we do make sure you have that space on Twitch bits, and look at highlights. Okay, that means that we did it correctly. And this actually shows you how you can implement this. So on Twitch bits, right there is what we want to do. And then we want it to be 5 bits, right? So the next line, it says, in this example, with donation amount in range 1,000 to 1,500. So in range is when you want to say between 2 values. In this case, we just want it to be 1 value. On Twitch bits with donation amount, because that's what it says right here. See, so each event on the website will tell you what predicates. What was that? Oh, that was my laptop. Gosh, that scared me. Each event, iGoody has so graciously told us what the predicates are. And in this case, it's amount or donation amount. So actually, just to make this a bit simpler, we can just make it with amount. So with amount, and then equals 5. We haven't really learned that one yet. The equal sign is a comparator. which literally means to compare. So we want to compare the amount that we've received to the number 5, which is really simple. So this is an example right here. I went to the comparators section with amount equals, in this case it's 9.11, but we want 5. So with amount equals 5. Okay, so we have created our first rule. Theoretically, this should work. So drop 3 wooden swords on Twitch bits with amount equals 5. You see how we just broke it up into action, event, predicate? That's it. That's literally how I make my 600, 700 line rule sets, is by just doing this over and over, deciding what I want my rule to be, breaking it up into action, event, predicate, and then going onto the website and figuring out how to make that happen. Okay, so we want to save this. Control S and then go to Minecraft, and we can do a new command called quick refresh. And what this will do is stop TwitchSpawn, reload the config files, and then start it up again. So boom, it did all that all at once. Oh gosh, of course it's raining. I hate the rain. Only in Minecraft. I love real rain, but Minecraft rain and Breath of the Wild rain, they're both terrible. So we've reloaded it. Now let's go ahead and test this rule that we just created. So knowing that the event is Twitch bits and the amount is 5, how would we do this? Well, TS simulate, and then you put the open curly bracket, event, and what is the event? Well, we just said it's Twitch bits, right? And then we have to have a comma between them, and then the predicate is amount. We want it to be 5. All right, so now let's test that. Oh, look at that. We have 3 wooden swords now. Okay, so we just successfully created a brand spanking new rule. All right, that's going to wrap up this video. In the next video, we are going to learn how to do more advanced things, such as using for loops, using the and keyword, and using the either keyword. So thank you so much for watching, and happy crafting.